Welcome to week 2 of our Community of Poets unit. For the first lesson this week, we will take a closer look at some of the landmarks in our heart maps.
Our objective for today is that you will be able to use your understanding of sensory details and descriptive language to brainstorm the details of landmarks on your maps, again with the goal of getting at the poetry that exists in our hearts.
8th graders, think about what makes most sense for your learning. If you want to watch the videos all the way through once and then do the activity, you can. Or you might choose to grab a few sheets of paper, choose your landmark, and follow along doing the activity with us. Either way, you will be submitting the Landmark Association brainstorming as a Google Doc on Schoology. You can pause the video each time to complete a step if you need more time.
We want to show you how we are deepening our thinking around our landmarks. And since Ms. Smoller didn't have a chance to share her map last week, she's going to present her map to us today and show us how she might take a closer look at some of her landmarks.
Hey, 8th graders. We have a hidden poem this week. What you have to do is watch the videos and you'll see hidden photos popping up with your teachers holding signs with words on them. Google the words and you'll find the hidden poem. If you do find the hidden poem, then go to your Schoology page and post it on the discussion post there. Kudos to whoever wins.
So here's my map. Landmarks on it include family members, my immediate family and extended. I love the outdoors, so lots of outdoors experiences, taking walks with my grandmother and looking for forsythia bushes, an open air museum that I visited in Japan called Hakone when I went to visit my brother who lives there with his family. And for today, while socially isolating, I'm thinking a little bit about the fun, small but maybe could seem silly things that I miss. And one of those things that I'm missing is Starbucks.
That isn't silly at all.
I worked at Starbucks in college and I still love their coffee. And so that's kind of what I was thinking that I would maybe try zooming in on today. So I'm pulling Starbucks off my map, and where do I start?
All right, Ms. Smoller, let's take a minute and write down everything you can think of and remember about your experiences with Starbucks. Try to aim for a list of at least 20 associations, and don't forget those mini vanilla scones.
I do love those scones. So for step 1, I'm going to write down everything that comes to mind when I think of my landmark. In this case, Starbucks. I spent some time brainstorming, and here's what I came up with. Everything from my favorite drink, double tall soy lattes with extra foam, to meeting celebrities when I was working in Copley Square, to specific moments or events like working on New Year's Eve one year, or when the South End store that I worked at walked in the Pride Parade. The setting of my store, being on Tremont Street, and what a cool experience that was. Some of the customers that I met and got to know pretty well. When new music would come out and we would listen to the same CD through the store speakers over and over and over again. And of course, that coffee smell that existed in the store and stayed with me even when I left at the end of the day.
Great list. I really love that coffee smell myself. Okay, now spend 30 seconds and pick one. But if you feel like you can't develop enough details from that choice, you should go ahead and go back to choose something else.
All right. Well, since I started with what I'm missing right now, I'm going to go back to my favorite drink, but also the experience of making it because I loved making my own drinks on that giant fancy espresso machine.
All right, now let's think carefully about that association. Write that word on the top of a clean sheet of paper. Then ask yourself some questions to help add even more detail to the picture you're creating of this landmark.
I'm going to keep my first question pretty general, and that would probably be just what do I think of when I think of this person, place, thing experience. So right now I'm thinking of my drink and making it working at Starbucks. So some initial details that come to mind are the foam that peaks at the top of the drink, free pouring, not using a spoon to like stop the milk. Espresso shot should only sit for 10 seconds. Steaming the milk first in a small metal container labeled soy to avoid cross-contamination. And me just needing that extra shot of caffeine because tall drinks only come with one shot of espresso.
Ms. Smaller and students, don't forget about your sensory details.
Right. All right, I took a minute to brainstorm for step 3, details about sight, smell, sound, touch, and taste. And here's what I came up with. I'll just highlight one from each sense. So I'm thinking about the look of my latte, how it's light brown and smooth and has a whipped foamy peak. The smell of coffee beans in the store and freshly brewed Pike's Place coffee. One sound I'm thinking of is this screeching sound that the milk makes when you pull it down while you're steaming in order to make foam. The taste, the sweetness of the vanilla soy milk from my latte. And the feeling of the steamy coffee air that surrounds me in the store. And now I'm getting stuck again.
All right, well, Ms. Muller, you might ask yourself something like, can you think of a particular day you made this drink?
Okay. Not that I can think of an exact day because it was long ago and I'm old now. But I am thinking about the morning rush and the line being to the door, but I've been told to go on my break, which always irritated customers because they see the barista leaving the bar right when they want their drink made. And thinking of specific moments has helped me come up with a few more details. So additional sounds of Starbucks, the hum of conversation, the oven, the blender, regular smiling and greeting staff and each other, some people frowning while they're waiting because the line is to the door, someone talking loudly on their cell phone, everyone listening, what the cafe looked like, the packed tables, some other actions, me stepping outside and slowly sipping my drink and breathing fresh air, the view of Tremont Street. That was a really helpful tip, picking specifics, and I could probably go on, but I'm going to stop here because I have 26 details on my list.
Those are great details, Ms. Smoller. I see that you started to talk about steps above, but if you were to keep going, you could really do a play-by-play of the specific steps that you followed to make the latte. And for students, if you've chosen something else, you can think about breaking down moments or steps associated with the activity or experience.
Thanks for helping me with this process. I like that steps idea. And I think there's definitely a poem in here somewhere.
And just so you all know, our next step will be to take these lists and begin turning them into poetry. If you're feeling inspired, you might even start drafting poems now.
I know I will.
Okay, students, now it's time for you to do your own Landmark Association brainstorm. You'll find the assignment posted on your class Schoology page. Make sure you fill out the document and submit it.